Today we're going to be focusing on the importance of capacity, and we'll be looking at application requirements, device requirements, and some general guidelines for gaining more capacity. It is an essential element of wireless LAN design, implementation, monitoring, and support with modern networks, because we're no longer in that era where we can simply say we'll install a few access points and people will have wireless access, because we're now running critical applications, or we're marketing that we provide wireless access at hotels and other hospitality areas, arenas, and things like this. And when you market that you're providing wireless access and then people connect to the wireless network and do not have effective wireless access to the internet, let's just say they get a little bit frustrated. So to avoid that, we have to make sure that we've designed for capacity, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So when we're talking about channel reuse, then we're talking about these staggered channel plans, and the important factors to remember are your power settings. Too much power can be a real problem. So just because an AP can do 100 milliwatts of output power or more doesn't mean we want to. We probably want to keep that down at a more client-matched power level, somewhere under 50 milliwatts, possibly between 10 or 15 and 25 milliwatts in many deployments. And then there's the antenna selection, a strategy that you can use in order to try to prevent a cell from interfering with another cell in one direction, is to use directional antennas like patch or panel antennas, broadcasting toward the clients that should be part of that cell, and therefore having less energy going in the other direction where clients should not be part of that cell. In some cases, that kind of strategy can be useful, particularly in high density or very high density deployments. And then you have to remember that client transmissions are a real factor. So when you're dealing with your channels and you're thinking about the co-channel interference range, that range is greater than many people think, because most people are just thinking about the AP and they don't realize the clients transmit too. Now, upstream data from the client to the AP is typically from 10 to 30% of the load, but specialty clients are an exception, like video devices, voice over IP phones, and door locks. However, keep in mind that door locks and voice over IP phones do not consume a lot of the airtime as individual devices, because they send small packets, but they do send them frequently. And so they do end up consuming airtime that is spaced frequently, but they don't consume a large percentage of the airtime because they're sending smaller packets. It's still a factor that has to be considered, especially when you have multiple phones in a cell. But certainly laptops and tablets, when they kick into gear and start transferring a large file, checking email for the first time in a while, watching a streaming video online or anything like that, then they're going to start transmitting more data. But remember, a lot of what we do, if you check email, you're downloading email. If you download a file, well, you're downloading a file. If you're watching a streaming video, you're downloading the video. And so there'll be acknowledgments, possibly things like that going up from the client, but most of the data is downstream. Now, obviously, if you're uploading data from a client, it's a whole different ballgame, and now you could be generating more co-channel interference for other cells that can hear the client, but aren't necessarily impeded on by the AP to which that client is connected. So these are factors that we have to keep in mind, and certainly in 2.4 gigahertz wireless LAN clients must be factored into channel reuse plans. And this is because, again, we only have the 3 channels, so a client at the edge of a BSS with its transmissions is far more likely to cause CCI with clients in other BSSs on the same channel.